Let me tell you a little secret about the state of New Jersey. 99% of people that get divorced, not just my clients, but all litigants in the state, settle their case. Most in mediation. Some arbitrate, but 99% of people are going to resolve their case in some form of alternative dispute resolution, meaning a judge is never making a decision for their family. So how does mediation work in a divorce? Well, let's put it in two contexts. First, mediation on custody and parenting time. It's mandatory. The court is going to send you to mediation to work on how we're going to spend time with the children between the two parents and what that custody schedule is actually going to look like. And if you can't resolve it with the court's mediation process, there is a series of private mediators that can work with families on custody and parenting time. Why? Because parents that resolve the custody and parenting time themselves without having a stranger in a black robe make that call generally don't have post-divorce custody and parenting time issues on the go forward. So who is a mediator and what is the mediator's role in your divorce? Well, there are mediators that work on custody and parenting time, and then there are mediators that work with you on economic issues. All economic issues. So that's the division of assets, that's the payment of alimony, that's the payment of child support. The mediator is a neutral third party, typically a lawyer. Also in New Jersey, we have retired judges that serve as mediators. And the mediator's role is to guide the parties through a form of alternative dispute resolution. The mediator is not your arbitrator. The mediator is not making the decision for you, but rather the mediator can educate you. The mediator can tell you some what ifs if you were to go into a courtroom. And the mediator's role is to help guide the family to a resolution that keeps you out of a courtroom. Your mediator is not your advocate. Remember, the mediator is a neutral third party that's not working for you and not working for your spouse, but rather working for the two of you together. So the mediator will educate you on the law. The mediator will educate you on what may happen if you walk into a courtroom. But it's your role in the mediation process to advocate your independent position. Since the world of COVID changed everything about how we litigate cases, because we now have Zoom, and we often mediate cases where we're never in the same room together. And so pre-COVID, we're sitting in conference rooms and the mediator may caucus, meaning take one side into one room and the other side into the other room. Now with Zoom, the mediator can just move us into breakout rooms. So you may start out together with your spouse, but you could both be in the comfort of your own space. And the mediator will literally move back and forth through the breakout rooms. And I'm seeing now that most mediations happen on some platform like Zoom. Can you resolve your whole case in mediation? Of course you can. So while the court has a program for custody and parenting time, if you don't resolve there, you can hire a skilled mediator that will work on both child custody issues, child support issues, and all the economic issues in your case. So you can have one-stop shopping with the mediator and resolve the entirety of your divorce. Lawyers will then draw up an agreement that you and your spouse will execute, and then it's the simple having a divorce entered by the court. What's the big difference between mediation and litigation? Because most people walk into my office and say, I want my day in court. Everybody thinks they want their day in court until they know what that actually looks like. If 99% of people are settling their case, why would you want to be in this 1% that actually goes to trial? A trial is arduous. It's not continuous. It's not what you see on court TV or Law and Order. You may have one trial date today and another trial date 2 weeks from now and another day 3 weeks from then, and the judge is constantly getting interrupted with other cases. Mediation, you set the date. You control the timing, you select the mediator, and you can move at your pace rather than the pace set by a judge. But more importantly, in mediation, you have autonomy. You know your family's finances, you know your children, you know what your children's needs are. A judge does their best to understand those issues, but in mediation, you have autonomy and you have creativity to reach a settlement that a judge may be constrained from reaching. What happens if mediation fails? Well, again, if most people are settling their case in mediation, there are still the outliers where they push away from the settlement table and they say this isn't working. When mediation fails, you wind up on the court's trial track. Now, do you think on your first trial date you're going to get on the witness stand and start testifying? Maybe. Other times, the judge has 3 other cases scheduled, and they say, while you're waiting, why not go out in the hallway and talk? Wink, wink, settle your case, right? So you wind up again at the settlement table trying to resolve your case because the pathway to a trial decision is so far away. So what's the difference in costs between mediation and trial? Vast, because you don't control the trial schedule. Preparing for trial is an onerous task. Marking exhibits, preparing a trial brief, prepping the witnesses for trial, hours and hours. I had a judge once say, for every hour your lawyer spends in the courtroom, your lawyer's spending 2 hours in their office preparing. I might say more like 3 or 4 to the 1 hour in court. So the reality is a trial is a 6-figure endeavor at least, where mediation, you can control it. How many mediation sessions do you need to settle a case? That depends on the parties, but mediation is far more cost-effective than litigation. In general, mediation can be your ticket to freedom in a cost-effective manner. You want to learn more about how a lawyer can assist you through the mediation process? Give my office a call and we'll set up time to talk.